Hey guys, welcome back to ModCons. I am here at London Conservative Conference and I'm going to check out what's going on, all the news for the local elections. Maybe we can find out who the mayoral candidate is. I don't know, it might be still a bit early. I'm going to speak to some young Conservatives. I'm going to see what's going on. I'm going to keep you posted, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm with Elizabeth. We are at the London Conservative Conference. How have you found it so far?
I think the Kemi speech was amazing.
Yes.
She's given me a new renewal of passion, and I'm just really excited to start campaigning.
Amazing, amazing. And yeah, obviously we've got we've got local elections coming up. How do you think it's going? Have you already started campaigning, or are you getting into it now?
I think I'm about to start.
Yeah.
I think I've started like on social media, but I think now I'm about to actually physically go out and knock on doors. I feel more passionate now to go ahead and do it. Yeah.
You've been fully revived with Kemi's speech.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. And has there been any sort of takeaways or any information that we maybe haven't heard, but you heard here today at the conference?
I think basically don't give up. Like don't focus too much on opposition. You have your goal, you go for it, and you just don't give up.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Hi, I'm with Elena. How are you finding it today?
Well, it's an amazing event. This is my first time here, and I understand it's only the second year when it's done. So I think it's a very good initiative. It brings people together, and you have a chance to talk to people from different boroughs, necessarily from Kensington and Chelsea, where I'm from.
Yes,
so it's a good chance to meet other people and to understand how the preparation for local elections are going there.
Yeah, and what has been your highlight so far today?
Well, I really enjoyed the policy forum. The policy forum was my first experience with them, and it's so nice when you actually try to think of what you can offer to the opposition as a policy to implement.
Yeah, and is there anything that you think we will be taking forward from your policy group meeting today?
Well, I believe so.
I hope so too. Anything specific, or is it just all very vague?
Well, they have different ideas.
Yeah.
Like my main idea is that it was a great idea to abolish stamp duty for the main home.
Yes.
It will be very popular.
Yes, I think so.
And otherwise, we've been talking about social housing and making housing more affordable for young people.
Yes.
That's a great thing to do.
Yeah, amazing. And we've got the local elections coming up in May. How are you finding it? Have you heard anything on the grapevine? Do you think it's quite a positive outlook? How are you finding it at the moment?
I think it will be a challenge.
Yes.
It will be challenging because people prefer conservative values, but they now will divide it in reform and conservative. So
yes.
It will be a difficult choice for people to make, but we will.
But we can win the day, hopefully.
We should.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And enjoy the rest of the conference and see you around.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm here with Bob Blackman, MP, and also 1922 committee chief. But I'm not going to talk about that today.
Okay.
We'll save that for another day. How have you found it today?
I think the conference is upbeat.
Yes.
It's very positive.
Yes.
And probably the most important thing is we're seeing new people coming and
we
arriving.
We are.
New young Conservatives, very enthusiastic, very keen. And this myth that's around that we don't attract young people has gone.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, even in the polling that's done, we are in second place amongst young people between the age of 18 and 24. That demonstrates that actually we're getting some retail offers, people that go, do you know what? I want to vote Conservative. Now, I'm one of those, say, old enough to remember being at university when we had a Labour government, and I'm afraid the winter of discontent and all the disasters we had then.
Yeah.
And it was then in universities and beyond that we got core of young people that came through that enabled us to get to the 1980s and the early 1990s as a Conservative administration in Parliament. That is what we've got to repeat again, so that when we come to the next general election, we make that huge leap and get back to power as quickly as possible. We can't allow this Labour government to carry on a moment longer.
No, we cannot. But I think it's true to say that when Labour do so badly, that people tend to look elsewhere, and thankfully their gaze is coming back to Conservatives.
Yeah, I think they do. You're right. I mean, the problem we've had, and this is, we've got to be honest about this.
Yeah.
By July 24, people were saying, "Oh, actually, you've run your course. It's time you went back and thought again about what you're doing. Let's give the other lot a go."
Yes.
And then they're going, "Oh my God, how did we allow this lot? What a mistake this is."
Yes.
And then they look at what's the alternatives, which at the moment is Nigel Mirage,
Yeah.
and his, you know,
I haven't heard that
right,
one yet.
Nigel Mirage. You know, you have an oasis,
Yeah.
and you see it in the desert. Oh, what this wonderful area! That's the Mirage, and this is he offers this dream of something without any substance at all.
Yeah.
And so, because of that, what we have to do is expose that.
Yeah.
And then people then say, actually, do you know what? Yes, okay, you've got some good ideas. You've regenerated yourselves. You're ready again for government.
Yeah.
The first step of that is local government.
Yes.
And in London, really, we can say you don't get back to power without winning power in London first.
Yeah.
And that's vitally important. So, you know, we've got to do that. We've got to win these local elections in London, get as many councils as we can, as many boroughs as we can. And then next comes the mayoralty and the assembly elections. And then probably after that, general election.
Yeah. So how do you feel it is on the ground now for the local elections coming up? There's you know, lots of talk, lots of other parties trying to put their fingers in all the pies. But do you really think that's going to have an impact, or do you think it's all bravado? As you said, Nigel Mirage. Do you think it, because it's not, it doesn't seem so important to the general public when it's local?
Yeah.
Do you think that could really have an impact?
Because we're now in multi-party politics, and you know, you've got the Green Party taking away Labour votes.
Yes.
Whatever Jeremy Corbyn's party is called today,
Yes.
It's taking away votes, and Reform threatening us and Labour votes.
Yeah.
And people saying, well, let's give these guys a go.
Yeah.
The problem they've got is they had that in the local elections last year.
Yes.
And where they've taken power, people are going, hang on, wait a minute, you told us you're going to reduce the council tax.
Yeah.
You now want to increase it by 10%.
Yeah.
You told us that you're going to reduce waste and inefficiency.
Yeah.
But there isn't any that you're reducing.
Yeah.
So they've now got a track record. So when they say that to Londoners, Londoners can say, hang on, wait a minute, in these various different places where you're in power, you're not delivering. Why should we trust you?
Yeah.
Whereas Conservative councils have and councillors have a good track record of delivery.
Yeah.
And that's key, because you've got to, and that's why I say we've got to have solid policies that people believe can be implemented and then do them.
Absolutely.
And so if you actually implement them properly, and then people say, actually, we trust you again.
Yeah.
That's how we build back
to
that all important general election victory.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there's been sort of whispers around here about, you know, who could be our mayoral candidate. I know it's a bit early, but any you know, any ideas you want to share?
I think the key thing is that the mayoral contest is a personality contest.
Yes.
And you know, Susan did a brilliant job last time.
Yeah.
But our problem was, you know, people hadn't heard of Susan before she became the candidate.
Yes.
We have to have a household name almost,
Yeah.
or at least someone that people know. Go, oh yeah, I know them.
Yes.
They've got to be a Conservative.
Yes.
But they've got to have that name recognition before we start.
Yeah.
And we do have an advantage in that Sadiq Khan has been so disastrous.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a good spin machine.
Yeah.
Tells everyone he's doing a wonderful job.
I know.
But he's failed on every single one of his pledges.
It's outrageous.
It's a disaster.
Yeah.
If he stands again, I think people will be fed up with him.
Yeah.
If he steps down, you know, you never know. Andy Burnham and Steve Rotherham may decide they want to come back to the House of Commons. You know, step down as mayors and come back. So that will be 2028.
Yeah.
And he may then have given up, and then we get a new candidate who knows who that would be for Labour, and then it's wide open. What we do know is when Boris was our candidate, people knew who he was.
Absolutely. Household name.
And the first problem we had was, well, Boris is, you know, TV personality and the rest of it. Was he serious as a politician?
Yeah.
When he restood, then you've got a track record. They say, well, actually, he's done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So winning the first time is the difficult area.
Yeah.
And then hopefully you've got a good track record behind you to say, I said I'm going to do this. I've done it. Please re-elect me.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we've got to get to.
And just talking about that, because obviously Reform, Layla Cunningham has come out of the gates, like she's the first one to sort of declare she's running for mayor. Is that a good strategy? Because she's got no opposition. So in the press, it's like one voice that is just bellowing around. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a long time between now and 2028 when the election's held.
Yeah.
And most Londoners haven't heard.
Yeah.
So she's not a well-known name. So from that perspective, yes, that gives her an advantage. But also you get burnouts.
Yeah.
You know, you've got no authority, you've got no power.
Yeah.
And by the way, Nigel Mirage is owns the party, so he tells you what to do all the time. So if you step out of line, you're in big trouble. As one or two people in Parliament found. Rupert Lowe, for example, kicked out the party, hates that phrase. Equally, McCormack was kicked out, but now he's been exonerated, but they won't let him back. Kind of go, if you don't get on with the party leader, then you're very fun. You're not around for very long.
Yeah, that's true. And just touching on that, I don't really want to dwell on reform because it's just whatever. But there's been a few defections. And how is that affected sort of Conservatives and everyone in all the MPs? Like, has it had?
Well, I think it's had a uniting factor.
Yes.
I think the reality is, if you go through all those defectors, Rob Jenrick was on defection watch for a long time. Andrew Rosendale was, is he going to go? Suella. Danny was a shock, I have to say. But, four of them have gone. We're more united than ever before. And I think Kemi's message this week, on Wednesday, when she gave that speech, I might paraphrase it of a quote from Henry V. Let he or she, who has no stomach for the fight, be gone. And if you're gone, go. I mean, at least with Mark Reckless and Douglas Carswell, when they defected from being Conservative MPs to become UKIP MPs, they resigned their seats, fought by elections and won. So they actually got a mandate. This lot don't have a mandate. So if they say, oh, well, this blah, blah, say, well, stand aside, have a by-election, prove that the electorate want you, and then we'll listen to you. Otherwise, why should we listen to you?
Fair enough. Fair enough. And what is your takeaway? I know you kind of gave a wonderful speech earlier today, but what is your takeaway from London Conservative Conference?
I think the key point is that in all the London boroughs, we've got an organisation going. We've got people that are enthusiastic and keen to win. And the reality is, if you don't believe you're going to win, you won't be surprised, and you won't be disappointed. You have to believe you're going to win. And if you believe you can win, and you do the work, then hard work brings its rewards.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Wise words. Thanks so much, Bob. How are you finding it?
It's been a delightful day. I really enjoyed the morning aspect of it, which is pretty much all I attended, and then we went to the pub.
Oh, wow. Dedication, guys. Dedication.
We did stay for Kemi, and she was good.
Excellent. So was that your highlight? Or was the pub the highlight?
No. Kemi was the highlight. She was good. She was good. Yeah.
Good. And you?
He speaks in jest. I'm running for South Richmond in the elections in May. It's been great, mainly just meeting so many people in the same situation, areas that are underrepresented by Conservatives, and the enthusiasm and the optimism in the room has been palpable, and that's been to an extent infectious. But obviously, if we're just going by speakers, Kemi really captured the kind of new strategy, the new direction of the Conservative Party in a way that actually slightly surprised me. She has her doubters in the press and in the media, but no, she was superb as a speaker, really got the room and was open to a lot of questions. It was really a special experience.
Amazing. So what's your takeaway from Kemi's speech? So what are you going to take back to, part of your strategy trying to win your next term?
I think the main thing is how we talk about what the Conservatives were versus what the Conservatives can and should be. So much of the last 14 years that we're so roundly beaten about for on the doorstep are things that were not Conservative policies. It's lovely to hear from CCHQ, from the leader, from the chairman, this agreement that actually we can draw a line under that and regain being Conservatives and having Conservative principles and getting Conservative voters back on side and pulling them away from the Lib Dems, from Reform, even from the Greens. Hearing that from the very top has been the main takeaway message.
Very positive, very positive. And then what are your next steps? Because obviously we got May elections coming up. What are you going to do? What is the strategy? You've been here today to get some good sort of morale boosting support and everything like that, but what are the next steps for you?
I mean, for us, we're still out every weekend and every spare evening we have on the doorsteps, just doing the usual stuff in terms of trying to get the message out there, trying to get people to realise that they might be Conservatives, even if they, don't necessarily engage with politics all that much.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who generally don't think about politics day to day until there's an election on their doorstep, and that's what going out and spreading the message is all about, I suppose.
And is there anything we should be worried about? Because obviously there's all these fringe parties that are coming along saying that they are the next big thing. How is that translating on the doorstep? Are people buying into that, or do you think that they're just sort of like, no, this is just a gimmick?
I think, probably we're both in like fairly central London constituencies. I don't think the parties that have the national cut through have the same cut through in London.
Yeah.
So reform are not really seen as a major issue for where I live and where I campaign mainly, which is Queen's Park and Maida Vale.
Yeah.
Leila Cunningham has been mentioned. I think people are aware of her, but she's not necessarily viewed particularly positively.
And would you agree?
Yeah, I'm campaigning in South Richmond. I'm from Richmond. Richmond is the Lib Dems are Conservative inclined, and the Conservatives are Lib Dem inclined. And really, there's very little pickup of even the Greens have some representation in council, but reform. And every doorstep is very different. When I've campaigned, I used to live in Mile End. The people you speak to are so different from the people in Richmond. When I was at university in Bristol, they were very different from when I was working up in Edinburgh. So I think that somewhere in London is going to pick up a different type of voter and a different type of challenge. It was really interesting hearing those problems, but a lot of the things around, say, reform, I hear more with my family in North Wales or in East Yorkshire than I do in London.
Yeah.
And so I certainly have more of the traditional problems in Richmond. It's the classic Conservative Lib Dem argument. And that's obviously still being appreciated. But yeah, when it comes to these other parties, that it's so easy to sell an easy answer.
Yeah.
And people buy that because, as Owen said, most people don't care about politics. And it's us nerds that listen to podcasts or get interviewed or stand for things that are a cut above everyone else in terms of how clued in. We think that, say, PMQs matters.
Yeah.
Most people
have
never seen it in their lives.
Yeah.
They'll maybe see at best Gordon Brown versus David Cameron.
Yeah.
It's like
a highlight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We live in a world in which I think it would actually help party political strategy if we appreciated that there's a lot more cut through from people who don't care about politics.
Yeah.
But we're in a different world.
So talking of that, how can we actually get younger people and people that are disengaged engaged? How do we reach those people? I mean, we've been lucky today to see quite a lot of young people really passionate and involved, but how do we make that transcend throughout the whole of the youth out there?
I mean, there's two things, and I'll pass it. I'm sure Owen has far better thoughts than I do. There are two things, which is they're both essentially realizing what politics is. It's the practical implementation of morality and economics. And that immediately, if you said that to anybody, they'd zone out because that is the most ludicrously philosophical answer. But that's really what politics is.
Mm-hmm.
That you're talking about how should a society frame itself morally? What are the practical ways in which that's done?
Yeah.
And equally, how should an economy grow? How are we going to do that? Weighing it up against social aspects. That's all politics is.
Yeah.
And people care deeply about those subjects.
Yeah.
But ultimately, they don't, and I personally think they shouldn't care more about it than their own lives.
Yeah.
If you're a family that's struggling to pay the bills for your kids and school and getting to work, or if you're a single self-employed freelancer in a van, why should you care about what the Telegraph is writing about party political debate? You know what matters to you in terms of how much you're paying in tax, how much you're paying at the shopping center. That's what you care about, and that is politics. It's for us to make it relevant to that debate, rather than thinking that people should get on board with reading political philosophy or getting subscribed to The Spectator or The Economist. It's down to us to we're clearly not communicating right on the doorstep if there's enough apathy as there currently is.
Wow, well said. Anything to add?
I think in terms of engaging young people, I mean, Cami, in terms of policy, is already doing the right thing. The announcement that she made at conference in terms of stamp duty is something that obviously a lot of young people can engage with in terms of getting on the housing ladder. That is something that, is part of being an aspirational Tory, and hopefully is something that will engage the younger audience.
Great. You heard it here first, guys. Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
I kind of occasionally how are you finding it so far? Our thanks first for having me on Comms. Really, I'm happy to be here. The conference is great because it's full of beans, full of life, and of course we have a policy forum here as well. So Conservatives are really getting a chance to express their ideas.
Yeah.
It isn't a London conference only, but it's dominated by Londoners, and we are a unique part of the country. So it's important to listen to people who live and have experience of working and living in London. Yeah. And I think this conference is very
amazing. And what's been your highlight so far today?
I thought Kemi's speech was really good because Kemi is a nice mix of being a strong character but also being practical as well. And she's very straight talk. She's not interested in it. He said, she said, but the country duty was to start problems, and I really like that. Yeah. But I also like the session with her from the members of the party. I've just been in the Young Conservative, real great bunch of young people, really agitating for change in the country. Yes. We've just been in a housing session as well, where people are literally forming policy ideas. There's someone who needs on housing. That's really
cool. And so there's a lot of gossip about mayor candidates. Now, you did vote for mayor. I did support you that time. But so how is that experience? Do you think, for example, who's already come out for reform, and she's getting all the limelight to herself, no one else is sort of opposing her. Is that a good strategy, or is that maybe a bit premature? And when Conservatives come out?
So the first thing you do is not worry about what before you live there, they're a very different party to us. We have a much deeper, richer history in London than could ever. So we don't need to get out there and get known. What we need to do is make sure we're developing the right messages. The other advantage we have on the force, so we're developing our ground here. So we have activists all over London campaigning. They're as much a part of the candidate as the candidate themselves. So whoever he or she is, needs those people are under a working now. So that's the first thing. You still figure out there's some about half hours later on, just started. We may have people on her, but I would say to people said we have our own files. She does as we change the colleagues and
do you have any gossip on the grapevine of maybe the candidates?
So I've had a number of people approach me say, are you going to do it? I've had people say who shouldn't be doing it. Right? What I would say is the party are looking for someone who is a reflection of Conservative policy, has enough of a record to speak to all of London, part of London, not just going to expect people again. And someone who cares deeply about Conservative principle, also the city. The thing in this city that we like to need a lot of tough decisions to care. We need someone with experience, quite frankly, that is able to get that done.
Amazing. And we have local elections coming up in May. How are you feeling about those? Do you think we're going to smash it? Do you think it's going to be a tough call, or how's it looking?
People need to remember it's less than 2 years since we had what's quite frankly a bit of a disaster election. So we are ahead of pace, ahead of schedule to rebuild ourselves, but we're very far away from that feedback idea. So local elections are super important, and it also then very important. One of the best things about this point today is about this dreamers that and are saying that if we do very well, great, but if we don't, then won't let that terrify them. I think it's really important. Yeah. Look, if the Conservatives have one thing in our history is that we are prepared to do the work, we are resilient, and we always work for local people.
That's true. It's true. Excellent. Thank you so much. That's it.
Thank you so much for joining us here at my conference.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We're at the London Conservative Conference today. How have you found it first?
It's been great. I heard this speech is absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
She was talking about policing, talking about crime, just kind of like straight off horse.
Yes.
And of course, I was cheering to the giraffe. This was talking about common surge. And also the way she actually links policing public safety like another growth.
Yes.
Because you're not going to get investment into a place like London if investors feel like it's not a safe place for their customers to be in.
Yeah.
So it's been good so far.
Okay, good. And then also on everyone's lips is basically Conservative candidate for mayor.
Yes.
So, do you have any inside information, any gossip, or do you have any idea who may run for it?
Apart from what Femi said in terms of what kind of candidate we're looking for, she spoke about how it is housing the story.
Yes.
To tell that actually in our bodies, in certain story on whether they were black or white, male, female, racial, whatever it is might be. And that story is really important. She talked about now someone who actually wants it.
Yes.
That's very important. Is the young wants to mention that as well. She also mentioned about the fact that person needs to some kind of melt right across London.
Yes.
In London, out to London, north, south, east, west. So that is what she's kind of spoken about to what we're looking for.
Yeah.
But it's always going to end up the program. We don't know yet.
You don't know. No ideas. Could you give me a top 3 perhaps?
Oh, well.
Are you running? I asked you this before.
You asked me this before. I don't know what I said to you. Well, I mean, I think it'll be the best job in the world for anyone to have. In my opinion, you have a budget, you make decisions.
Yeah.
You don't have to vote.
Yeah.
Like MPs have to, like farmers have to get in parliament. I think it's a very fascinating job.
Yeah.
For anyone to have. So, but look, we'll see what happens when that time comes. But, names that keep coming up and big pieces keep talking about like James, Penny, Tom Chibnham. But we go through this same cycle of time. Isn't that right,
Oh, look at the best looking guy and the best looking girl at the conference. I can't.
Just come in.
Come on, man.
We've just had
next to the most beautiful girl, a handsome guy.
broke my heart.
So, and the ugly guy at the end. Ugly guy at the end.
He's just
I'm a real minority old man.
It's fine. You might as well get in on the action. Who do you think is going to be London Mayor for? Who do you think is going to be the candidate?
I mean, I think it'll be somebody who's suave and young and good looking, maybe Nigerian origin. I have no idea.
I was out with this gentleman yesterday campaigning. They had money for him. I just almost went to
We got this woman. She went to this house, and this woman said, I'll be 105 at the next one, but I'll vote for her on the line. And he was so charming. She'd been saying she was going to vote Labour before, so that's how good he is.
But she will be alive.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Why these young people live forever? They really do. It's like a Royal Borough.
And this is Miss Dynamo.
Only men die at the Central London. Women live forever.
You're going to live forever. Thank you. So, tell me, you must have an idea who you think our candidate for the Conservative mayor is going to be.
I think it will be somebody as charismatic as the man I'm standing next to, as young and dynamic as you,
Okay.
and a Conservative like Dr. Matts.
Absolutely.
Ever the diplomat. Okay, but whilst we're talking about candidates for mayor, obviously the one that's coming out of the blocks from before is the Honeycomb. Yes, well,
Never heard of it.
yes,
Never heard of it.
position. But do you think it's a good strategy to come out so early?
I think it's a really bad strategy because 800 days, I can tell you, I've been really hot for a long time.
Very, very long time.
Very hard. Anybody's doing that. 800 days. I'm paid, remember?
Yes.
And the thing about Labour is, very Inspector Labour, I know her well. She only really knows a little bit of central London. I doubt you feeds me most of it. I think so many parts of London than Labour.
You do get around.
I don't know what to say.
Like the flu.
I think I have no basic knowledge or sense of anyone jumps lines. But at the end of the day, you need somebody who's actually done a public life for really influence.
Yeah.
It's definitely the big experience. Yeah. She can make the but actual conservative.
Yeah.
Somebody who is very smart on camera. Somebody who's been a police crime commissioner. Not a one-term councillor like Labour.
Well, that's and Tony's actually right, this idea but you can go this early. And you also open yourself up to a lot more opportunity.
Yes.
You've got a lot more chance of getting something wrong that can pass upon to you. London's a big place.
It really is.
London's a lot bigger than Manchester Games. It is a lot bigger. Getting around it will cost a lot of money, but hey, it's what they've done.
But the fact that we don't have anyone to sort of give an opposing view, she gets all the limelight. So when do you think we should place the Conservative candidate out?
I'd like by the end of this year. But ultimately, we've got to get through these power elections first.
Yes.
And the reality is, we sit our main job in politics on whole is to account. And Kemi's doing that brilliant.
Yes.
So, Labour's very good at being sensible in the tiles, assassin and supplements. And that's not going to get her elected.
So anyone get that far in the times anyway. I mean, I don't think supplement there.
Exactly.
Really, I think the focus right now has got to give them about elections. And it's really big thing because how well we've doing the locals, we actually set ways before that's the mirror. So we have to get this right.
We have some really good candidates. Andy Ward and James Wood. You've got a brilliant young man who's standing with two very experienced young ladies. And if he gets in, that's the foundation.
Amazing. And let me just ask around.
I might blush you. I'm bugging.
So also we are the London Conference. What's been your highlights so far?
Oh, it's got to be Kemi's speech. I mean, Kemi was just absolutely fantastic. The reality is, you've got all the old parties in, and you've got dull Ed Davey, wacky Zach Lansky, Sakir. You can't even call Sakir dull. It's so dull. And as for dodgy, the man, I'm not even going to mention his name. And he will carry it. His integrity, he's articulate, he's got a great life story, and she knows what she's doing.
She's done the duty.
And what I think is really good about Kemi is that she's really able to do a solid thing together. They're united. They also were never meant to be part of a team. They gradually written themselves away. And she's got a united team, something which we have not had as a party at the top 10 for a very long time.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference.
So you're not concerned or worried about any of these defections recently? You think it's a good thing? Cleaning house?
They decide what they want to do. If they want to leave the party, I don't know how you start off by saying 2 years ago you want to leave the Conservative Party and then leave the Conservative Party. So that's a matter for a man. I'm not even going to mention his name, but I can assure you we will be trying to win his constituency general election.
And I think that the party we don't like being bullied.
Right.
We don't like being bullied, and we will not be shouted out of town. And I think this actually allowed people to galvanize and come around Kemi a lot more.
Yes.
And I think what we're going to see is going to be more party members getting behind her, supporting her because we want through those.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
So that's it, the end of the London Conservative Conference for the day. It's been a great experience. I got to speak to some amazing people, and we got to, everyone seems really enthusiastic and ready for those elections coming up. But yeah, don't you forget, Monday middays, Mod Cons.